Welcome back, everybody, to part 4, episode 139, the last episode of the year. This is the last part of the year for the show. We will be back January 14th. That's what we decided, January 14th. It's going to be fantastic. We did talk about the infrastructure attacks earlier in the show in part 1.
Yes.
So
Joseph, take that. Go back. Listen. Do it. Don't do it right now, but stay live now.
So go back and check out for part 1 for the attacks on the infrastructure.
Yes.
Again, I want to thank you guys for joining us. Part 4, episode 139, Salt of the Streets, youtube.com/Salt of the Streets.
Wrong button.
Instagram.com/Salt of the Streets, Patreon.com/Salt of the Streets. Go there, sign up, help us make more better content just like this. We also have the book club, the newsletters, the beer shows, all of these fantastic things. $5 a month get you the beer, get you the newsletter, get you the beers, get you the newsletter. We also have t-shirts and we have stickers and all kinds of stuff that for sale. If you guys
These
would like
stickers,
them,
they're vinyls.
saltofthestreets.com for all of this information, including our own personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. Colin is at Big Bird Offie on both of those things. The sponsor for our final segment is JP Bakery. She is getting her shit set up in her old house, actually. While they figure out.
That's a fucking move.
Yep. While they
I
figure
did not
out
realize the move that could be.
was
That's a
just
solid
very
move.
recent. Yep.
Good
Now that can
shit.
be finished into a cottage kitchen, so she just has to adjust her menu a little bit while they work on the more permanent facility because it's looking like it's going to go in the new building.
Also, fuck the state.
Yeah. It's looking like her other facility is going to go in the new building that's going to go next door. So. Either way, JP Bakery, leggings and aprons, go there. We can mail you things. Like I said, if you guys want t-shirts, we make them ourselves. If you guys want stickers, we don't make them ourselves, but we will mail you them ourselves.
I got a stack.
We'll
We got
mail you all
stacks.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we get all the stuff. If you want merch,
Just to let us know.
let us know, please. I would love to send you merch.
Yeah, we want to start
for
with
your money.
What does this have to do with freedom and liberty from the last segment?
Because I cut out a little too early.
Colin was out here. He's balling. And then we have...
I don't usually run the shows. I
but
usually
this time you are.
produce the shows, but
Yeah.
this time I'm a badass, and I kind of forgot my producer requirements on this one.
I'm a show map guy. It's just easy.
Exactly. But also, you just moved, so
Yeah,
I tried to help out.
all
Here we
last
are.
week.
I want some stickers. Kevin says he
week.
wants stickers. Well, hit us up on our
Yes.
socials, Kevin,
Yeah.
and we will arrange for that to be possible.
Get you your address and stuff like that.
They're awesome. I
And we'll mail that to you.
as a personal testimonial
They're
to our
vinyls.
own stickles. Yeah, they are vinyls. They are our logo, and I put mine on my truck skis that recently got stolen. Donovan has it on his mug there. I was going to put mine on my mug earlier today.
It worked pretty good.
I just didn't quite get there before
Worked pretty
the start of the show. But I can tell you right now, because I've taken my truck on multiple hunting trips. I've been up in the mountains during freezes and thaws and rains and downpours and thunderstorms and all this stuff. And not even the smallest little piece of vinyl got moved, got adjusted, got nothing. It was all fucking there. These are hardcore vinyl stickers. And shout out to the person that makes them.
Facade vinyls.
Facade Vinyls.
Yes.
On Instagram?
On Instagram.
On Instagram. Facade Vinyls on Instagram. So
It's one of our followers.
hit us up just hit us up on the DMs on one of our socials right there, and we will make that happen for you.
Yes.
And with that, Donovan, what did that have to do with freedom and liberty?
What does this have to do with freedom and liberty? Of course. This one's obvious, right? The level of tyranny being suffered in other countries is possible here. It is vital that we all remember that we are the exception to the rule of tyrannical leadership so far. The continued collaboration between our government and the authoritarian regimes around the world should be a red flag for us that they are working to polish the techniques roughed out during COVID. The technology and tactics being used by the CCP and Iran exist here right now. All they have to do is flip the switch. They have drones to spread messages in mists, robot dogs already being considered for violence and murder in San Francisco, and we have seen the masses of police and military willing to completely destroy the oath they swore to defend the Constitution if their bosses tell them to do so. In my opinion, we are quite a way down a very dark path that we started on just a few years after the Declaration, and we are at a very serious risk of fatally compromising this experiment if we do not return to the values of liberty.
I 100%, 1,000% agree with you, and I think that is very well spoken. And now it's time for shenanigans. Because
Yes.
it's the grab bag,
Yeah,
baby.
so I have a question for you that I came
Ooh.
up with earlier. This has to do with the woman in Colorado, the web designer.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And we
This is a
talked
very
about-
serious Supreme Court case at this point in time, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We talked about a similar issue, of course, a few years ago with the baking, the cake,
The
right? Masterpiece cakes,
masterpiece,
I
yes.
believe. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this has to do with the internet lady, right?
The internet lady.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
a web designer.
For
She
particularly
doesn't-
wedding websites, I
And
believe.
she does all kinds of stuff, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. She says she doesn't want to do a website for a gay wedding for, for this one is for artistic reasons, right? That's what this is? Mm-hmm. Artistic reasons, not artistic
Yes.
and free speech, because
It's free speech. I don't want to, as an artist, I don't want to have to create a
not
message I
religious
don't
freedom.
believe in.
Right.
It's very similar to the Masterpiece Cake Shop because of the artwork side of it.
Yeah.
This is a very, very complicated and complex and also ultimately fucked up situation, but continue on.
Yes. So
I'm sorry, I had an epiphany. I'm
No,
like,
that's perfect.
that would be legit. Just right there.
Yeah, I have a sweatshirt like that.
I almost ordered a Drinking Bros fucking flannel like that last night that has defund politicians right there.
I have one Salt of the Street sweatshirt that has a small logo on
Just
the chest.
right there.
Yeah,
That would be fucking lit.
I'll make you one.
Okay, I'm gonna purchase a flannel of a solid color that it can go on because I think that would be money. And I
Okay.
wear a lot of flannel
If you
these
don't
days.
want the square, if you want the letters,
I don't know.
then you'd have to do it a little bit differently.
I would.
but we can figure.
We'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah,
figure it
we
out.
can figure it out. It's not. A
I want
problem.
more merch.
Okay, so the Colorado
Mm-hmm.
woman, right? This case feels to me like it relates to censorship with Twitter. I wonder why I wrote that.
Free speech, probably.
Yeah. In Colorado scale, why is free market not enough? Right? And at what point is free market no longer sufficient to regulate this type of interference? Because we're seeing, obviously, on a Twitter level, on a social media level, for allowing the free market to regulate that is no longer working. But on a lower level like this, I have for a long time been of the mindset that whether or not I agree with this woman is not really part of the issue.
Indeed.
I think that
the
she
principle.
should be able to do or not do what she wants, and people should be able to say or not say what they want about it. And if she can get enough people who support, who want to buy from her, that either don't care about what she's doing or agree with her message, then she should be able to do that and have a business and be prosperous. However, if the people in her community fucking hate what she's saying and they choose not to support her business, she goes under. That is also a side effect of what she chooses to do, and I feel like that should just be left to the free market.
I generally agree with you. But there is a few...
People concerned that it's a slippery slope.
Well, there's other complications than just that. I'm just going to put this fake-ass chew in my mouth real
I
quick.
thought you were throwing a proper dip, and I was like, this is where we're at now? We're back to proper dipping?
No, this is fakey dip.
Okay.
This is primarily corn silk
Why not just dip for real?
because I don't want all of that all the time. So part of the problem here is that if you remember relatively recently, the case about
Corn silk, like the shit on the outside of the corn underneath the husk?
read the ingredients, bitch.
Molasses, corn silk, water, glycerin, kudzu root, salt, artificial flavorings, sodium bicarbonate, propylene,
Yeah.
glycol, cayenne pepper, blue 2, yellow 6, red 40, lakes,
Don't read me all the artificial food colorings, but
methyl
yeah,
propylparabens. Oh, that's nice.
it's fake ass chew.
Yeah, tobacco-free, nicotine-free. Our
Yeah, it's just corn silk.
food-grade
It feels-
products are properly made in modern FDA-registered and inspected facility in Copel, Texas.
Yeah, it feels like regular
Smells
chew.
like
It feels
chew.
good. Yeah, put a fucking dip in.
No.
It's just fucking corn silk.
No.
Good for you. I'm glad you don't
No.
because
If I'm not gonna
it feeds the beast.
If I'm going to throw a dip, I'm going to fucking throw a dip. I'm not going to fucking throw a no nicotine, no fucking tobacco dip.
All right. So part of the problem here is that there
Wasted
is a
damn Part of the problem
You know
is...
what? You know what?
Oh no! You're hilarious.
You're an asshole. Brother, problem here, I put too much in and it was hard to talk, so you gave me a good excuse. Brother, problem here is,
Oh.
if you remember, not too long ago, there was a court case in a conversation, particularly a Supreme Court case, that involved the Civil Rights Act and the definition that not only was it illegal to discriminate against somebody for their race, but it also became unconstitutional to discriminate against somebody towards their sexuality and
Right.
gender identification, right?
Right.
That is one of the key problems with this case at this point. We're not even at that level yet, because right now we're just talking about somebody and their artistic ability and so on and so forth. It's very, very complicated, but one of the problems they're going to have here is with that last precedent they set in that particular case. This is dealing right now primarily with a Colorado law, and specifically that says a business cannot discriminate against somebody on the basis of race or sexual
The bakery was in
orientation.
Colorado too, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And so, yeah, Colorado. Who would have fucking thought that Colorado was a fucking stomping ground for civil rights? But one of the problems with essentially the civil rights bills,
Problem with civil rights.
one of the problems that came from the civil rights bill at one point is when racism is not necessarily a generalized socialized problem that is exercised on the everyday level of discriminatory laws against water fountains and seating areas and so on and so forth, is it
Yep.
becomes relatively arbitrary and people can use it to whatever advantage they feel they want to pull from it. In this particular case, I can tell you right now, this lady necessarily doesn't have exactly a problem, other than the fact that there is a precedent trying to be built here about somebody not being required, if they do not feel like it, if they do not want to put their... There's so many problems with it. There's so many layers to this, which is the problem here. This is a larger conversation, but their artistic ability towards something that violates their religious freedoms.
Yes.
Right? Which is a massive, massive case when it comes to like the First Amendment rights and your exercise of religious freedom and expression, right? It's a whole deal, but it becomes a problem because the Civil Rights Act at the time was necessary.
Yes.
Argue with our points of view in modern day society now. Oh, thank God I'm not the only one who can't pour on camera. With our modernized views in our contemporary world right now, I would argue that the Civil Rights Act could have some deleterious consequences because you're not allowed to discriminate against somebody. Because just because you discriminate against somebody for maybe not having the qualifications, maybe not having the right personality, whatever it is as a business owner or as some kind of institution that is into a hiring situation, you may have a civil rights lawsuit brought against you because you did not hire somebody of a particular race or marginalized group.
Even if that's not why.
And in this case, because of the expansion of said Civil Rights Act at this point, thank you, Justice Roberts and Kavanaugh, that includes gender identity.
Wait, I thought that all the conservatives hated gay people. You're telling me now that
No.
they did something that expanded protection.
They did.
Wait.
What's up, Kavanaugh?
Wait.
You know that guy who supposedly
Wait.
ran a train on Christine Blasey Ford?
He raped that woman, right?
Turns out he's super for civil rights.
Wait.
The expansions of the Civil Rights Act.
Hold on.
Yes. But
Fucking assholes. Dude.
But the problem here, right, we don't even get into the meat and potatoes of the Civil Rights Act on this point. Like, with this particular case, right now, all the advocates for this bill, the people that are arguing the bill, the justices involved at this point, all they're looking at whether or not you have a license as a creative person to have creative freedom in the ability to, if you're doing something as far as like work is related, right? In a creative process, say, I am from Colorado. I am this lady. I create wedding websites.
Right.
but I do not want to create a wedding website for a gay couple.
Right.
Then I have the artistic freedom to not create something that I believe violates my values.
Right.
But the problem going on right now, particularly at the Supreme Court level, is the argument being had is just a categorization. It's just a marginalized, saying that when it comes to like those who can kind of like get around, did she get to like yes, the cat attacks. When it comes to like trying to get around the Civil Rights Act like that, something like that, we say, well, I'm a creative person. The product I'm putting out there is a creative endeavor. Like I have the right to not be able to provide my creative services to somebody because I don't agree with their values. That's the argument putting forth right now. So we're finally chopping up another thing. Like I am a cake shop owner. I don't want to decorate a cake for a gay couple because it violates my values. I am a website designer. I don't want to create a website for a gay couple because it compromises my values.
And the fear being propagated by the left is that this is going to expand into different categories. That there's going to be people that say, I don't want to make wedding cake.
I don't want to build a house for a gay couple.
Right. Well, and also to to racial categories and stuff like that too. That if we allow people to discriminate against people of different gender identity or sexual orientation, then it will also allow people to do it.
I don't want to do a memorial service for this trans person.
Right.
You know,
I feel largely
it goes
the same
all sorts
way
of different
about
ways.
that too. If you want to make it open to the public that you don't like the fact that white people and black people are getting married together, then you go ahead and do that, and we'll see how long that lasts. You know,
exactly.
I don't think that's going to be a very popular opinion, and I don't think there's going to be that many people that want to patron your business, and I think you'll probably go out of business pretty quickly.
I think you'll be all right, but you'll service a single sector of the economy that only wants that one particular thing, and that's not a bad thing.
You won't see much growth. Yeah.
No, you'll have a niche little market. Good for you. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
If I'm a gay couple, if I'm a trans couple or whatever, and I come into you or I hit you up on your website or whatever, hey, I'm interested in this. Me and my husband want this, and you refuse me. It's like, I'm sorry, we don't offer services to gay people. And be like, word, that's cool. I'm gonna tell all my friends about you because that's fucked up. And then boom. Then you'll just be put off in your own little place in society, and then society will judge you for being that way. And I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
but it is not the important part here. Because societally, I have one argument, right? I don't discriminate against nobody unless they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's some crazy ass motherfuckers out there. I don't think discriminating against anybody just due to whether they're gay, what kind of race they are, if they're male or female, because there's only two, or whatever it is. I don't care. You can come at me as a trans person and want something. If I have a business where I'm creating something, whatever, that's cool. If you're an asshole to me, I probably won't want to work for you.
Yeah.
But if you're open and let's do business. I would love to take your money and create a product for you. That's cool.
Yeah.
But if there's a certain segment of society that is against it, that's fine. I don't care. I'll take their business. That's just fine. But as far as the government involvement on this point, the government itself has they got no fucking play here, man. They should not be forcing anybody to do anything for anybody, period. I understand the civil rights movement. I have ethical problems with the government being involved in the civil rights. I have a problem on that level with the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah.
I still think you're a piece of shit if you want to discriminate against somebody if they're a different race. 100%. I don't believe the government, I don't think it's their job to be involved in that. I think they're pieces of shit for being involved in that. But I also understand the reality of the world we live in and our society around us, in which case, down with the Civil Rights Act. I'm cool with that. I got that. But ideologically, again it. So, in this particular case, I think there's something at work here that is far greater than actually what we're seeing. There's something that is going to have reverberations down society throughout time that is going to come back and kick us in the ass. And if this one fucking person who dare I say bigot, if there's one person who's like, well, these people are gay, so I don't want to work for them and take their money.
Yeah.
Good for you. Go fuck off. Don't bring it to the Supreme Court. Just be an asshole. How about that? That's fine. I don't care. Go away. and the couple that's trying to get work for them, you deserve much better than that. Go a million other places to create you a wedding website. That's fine. But I believe in this particular case, it's the owner against the state, because the state has the law at that point. So I don't think there's an actual plaintiff in this or defendant in this case other than the state. So it's complicated. AKA, this is why I went off on this. I'm sorry.
No.
I knew this was going to come up, and it's a
perfect.
whole fucking deal. There are so many layers to this thing. It's like an onion.
It's perfect.
So welcome to the grab bag, people.
Welcome to the crowd.
That was a whole day. I knew it was coming, and I knew I was going to go off at some point, but none of it all right. None of it all right. And this stupid ass bitch that's taking this thing to the Colorado, like, I get it, but also just shut up and just don't just don't take jobs you don't want to take. How about that?
Yeah.
Come up with an excuse. Say, I'm too busy. This isn't against a real, it's not like the Masterpiece Cake Shop thing. Like, there's not a real life couple on the other end. Even if those people were activists in the Masterpiece Cake Shop situation, there's no one on the other end other than this is you against the state at this point, which I get.
On both people's parties. I understand that
Because
maybe,
fuck the state for being involved.
I understand maybe this isn't the point, but
Yeah.
on the surface, I'm like, well, why would you want this woman to make your website anyway if she doesn't agree with what you're doing?
Yeah. Fuck her.
And on the other woman's side, just shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Just don't do it. You don't need to make a fucking whole deal about it. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't, you don't.
And
I'm very principled. I don't like to compromise on that stuff. I also don't like that much bullshit in my life. And if now I'm going to have to go to the
Moving
Supreme
on.
Court because all this shit, I would rather just, like you said, make up a fucking lie about, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
you
And
know?
in reality, like, that tells me, like, you're trying to do something here and that I'm not really into at this point, because
Which
you
is
could have
fine,
easily
but-
just told me anything other than leave me alone, but also the nature of the case, like I said, it's not against an individual couple that's trying to get business with them. It's just somebody going against the state to say, I don't want to run my business like this
Yeah.
because there's a law in place. So, but yeah, I get it from both sides, I guess, because also I don't want the government involved. But again, recognize the reality we live in. Just fuck off, man. Just leave it the fuck alone. Jesus Christ. So there's that. Does that sufficiently answer your question about that?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's plenty.
That's plenty. Yeah,
More than enough, Colin.
when you told me the other day about you're like, oh yeah, I got this question about the Colorado thing. I was like, oh bro, you don't even know what I have to say about this. I have lots of thoughts. Okay, so unless you have any objections, let's shift to the good old rail strike situation
Let's
that
go.
was conveniently averted by Lunch Pail Joe, if you will. Do you want to do this? Do you want me to do this?
You got this.
Okay.
Do you want me to do it?
No, I'm good. I got a sip. I'm fine.
Crazy.
Okay. So we've talked about this multiple times in the podcast, obviously. I'm trying to think. All of a sudden, my mind went to breaking points and crystal ball real quick. I have a clip about this from Jimmy Dore, by the way,
Okay.
that you're going to love.
I like Jimmy Dore.
So to get to the news, to get to the brass tacks, if you will, we've talked multiple times about the possibility of a rail shutdown with the
Yep.
rail union, so on and so forth, without rehashing all of that. Ultimately, the time did come where the rail unions were going to strike because because they had to agree on the contract that was negotiated at the White House and celebrated at the White House to include a fucking whole festive dinner and the whole 9 yards out on the Rose Garden lawn, was rejected by, I think, 3 of the 12 unions, I believe. Multiple unions. And it required all of the unions to agree on said terms of the
Because they
brand
only
new
added
contract.
one sick day.
They only added 1 sick day. They did add a 25% increase to pay. I think it says in the article.
over the next 6 years.
Which is still a fuck ton of goddamn money, by the way.
I mean,
24% raises.
over the next 6 years.
Yes, but the big thing about this is they refused to add sick days. They refused to add sick days to that.
Right.
Refused to add paid vacation time to that.
There
Which,
was an additional bill that just didn't make it through with
Yes.
this other one.
because ultimately,
That added a week of sick pay.
yes,
A week of sick days.
week of sick days. Which, pause button for a second, right? Let's fucking pause here. For any other average non-unionized company in the United States, is there not required sick time federally?
I believe so. Here it's through the state.
Oh, it's
The
through the
s-
state here?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's the state that
There goes my
requires it.
goddamn argument.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You shut up.
Fuck. I was gonna say because we got sick time, we got mandatory vacation time.
Yeah.
Because I ran a business here in this state, and so I was like, I gotta pay for like fucking a month of goddamn paid time off for my employees
Yes.
to the state. But
Yeah,
yes,
every
in this
40
particular
hours
case-
you work, you get an hour of sick time through the state.
yes, required by law.
Through the state.
Yeah,
Your
they-
company pays
they
for
just
it. The state
require it.
mandates it. Yeah.
Yeah, the state mandates it, and then your company actually pays for it. But in this particular case, because this is a federal union, that was not part of the bargaining deal. I mean, we've talked about this in depth before. I don't want to get too down the rabbit hole on this, but ultimately the unions could not agree on a deal unanimously, which essentially put them on grounds to strike. And it was either the unions were going to go on strike, or the Congress could meet and they could create a new contract and
Force the
vote on
deal.
it, pass on it, and force the deal and make the workers go back to work. And that's
Yeah.
ultimately what they did. And all the
Because they're
progressives
pro-union
were
AF.
because all the press were incredibly quiet. They didn't get anything of what they wanted. Basically, the only thing they really, really got was that 24% increase in pay. All of their actual issues they were concerned about, their quality of life issues with paid time off and sick days, which most Americans enjoy when they work for a medium to large size company,
Yeah.
most of those were not enacted. And blame who you want to blame. I'm sure the Democrats will blame the Republicans, and Republicans
They
will
already
blame anybody else. So that was the thing, and that's where they're at. And that's
Anybody
why
but them.
anybody but them. But so that's where we're at. Basically, once again, the rail unions got fucked. That's also hashtag that's what you get for being a public sector union, you stupid motherfucker. You know what happened? You decided to join an industry where you do not have any say in the outcome of your work life. You decided to forfeit that, much less you decided to forfeit that not amongst your union, but to the goddamn federal Congress of the United States. If you're a
'Cause they
railway
chose to work
worker,
for the rail.
because you chose to work for the railroad.
'Cause
The
it's-
best
that
thing here-
legislation's old as balls.
It is, yeah. It goes back to the teens or
Something like- yeah,
the
super
aughts
old.
in the
Yeah,
19s. Yeah,
super old.
super old. And
Older than you.
at this point, yeah, motherfuckers, I agree with you. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
I understand that, but also quit fucking working for them. I get it. I get it, bro. But if you don't want to be held hostage by the Congress of the United States, don't fucking work for them.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop the cycle. You have to stand up. You have to not do this anymore. Because at the point where the railway bosses are, if they're hurting for cash,
Fuck you, Warren
you know
Buffett.
what's going to happen? They're just going to be like, scabs wanted, I'll pay you X with X benefits.
Yeah.
And then all that shit goes away, man. Your unions are corrupt. Your contracts are corrupt. It's been that way for decades. Recognize that fact and fucking change it. If you all have to fucking quit and the entire U.S. goddamn economy needs to feel if they need to feel as much hurt as you feel in your present day contract, so fucking be it. Because you know what's going to happen? The future's going to be better off. Your kids are going to be better off. Everybody's going to be better off because you can go work for the railway companies, multiple of which, at this point, you go work for any railroad company, you're basically working for the same goddamn company. It's called the federal fucking government. Because obviously they're the ones that if everybody's got a problem, they're the ones that tell you how to fucking go back to work. Period. That's it.
When and where and yeah.
And here's your fuck. This is the best you're gonna get. Go back to work. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This week you're not a vital worker.
Yes, I'm done with it. Quit working for these assholes. If you got a serious problem with it, go work fucking somewhere else.
The COVID thing really ruined the sympathy for people working for the federal
really
government.
did.
It's like you really shouldn't be doing that.
You shouldn't be doing
you
that.
really shouldn't be doing that. You don't have as much control over your life as you think. You really shouldn't be doing that.
Again, and that's not to say I don't sympathize with these people. It is fucked up. I understand their contract at this point. You don't have any actual paid days off. I got way more paid days off than these railroad workers do. Do you know that? We got lots compared to them.
Yeah.
The fact that I can just be like, bro, I'm really not I'm feeling all stuffy in the face today. I don't feel like coming in and getting everybody sick today, blah blah blah, judge that how you may be, but my boss would be like, all right, cool, man, thanks. I'm not gonna get paid that day. That's fine unless I have sick time to go for it, but like I'm not gonna get fired over it. If you got COVID and you're a railway worker right now, well, them's the breaks, bro.
Them's is the breaks.
Is that what you say?
Yes.
Yeah. I tried to do one of your lines. I love that line. Them's the breaks, bro. That's just what happens.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's really funny.
Good luck finding a new job. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I understand that. But also, identify what it is you're doing and where you're at in life, man. Like, it's not going to get better if we maintain the same system. You're a progressive. If a lot of progressives if you're a progressive and you're fighting for this situation, recognize that this might be a failed system and you might need to start the fuck over.
Yeah.
The easiest way to do that is for everybody to go through a little bit of hurt and then restart the fucking clock.
Yeah.
Okay? I understand what that is. But anyways, I wanted to show you this Jimmy Dore clip about that because it's so good. We'll only go through a little bit because it's kind of ridiculous. But this is Jimmy Dore looking at the Young Turks, particularly Ana Kasparian, and looking at where Jimmy Dore, the true progressive, was back in 2019 during the original rail strike contract situation happening. And then Ana Kasparian in like November 2022 as like the deal was closing and the Congress was forming and going to be pushing it through. Fucking identical, and it's amazing. It's so good.
Breaking. After some talk that progressive Democrats would torpedo
December 1st.
Biden's rail deal, the Congressional Progressive Caucus just issued a statement signaling that members will go along with the Pelosi plan to enforce Biden's deal.
They're loving it. They're loving it.
Plus, vote separately
Again,
on
December 1st.
Bernie's request, and this is really Bernie's work here, Bernie's request to add 7 sick days.
The moment came in the
January 5th, 2021. Over damn near a year ago when this was actually happening.
they did nothing. They just revealed themselves. This is a clarifying moment. They all revealed
Washington
themselves.
State.
They'll never fucking fight when the moment comes. They're not doing it. They're not doing it.
Part of the problem, and what enrages me beyond
time.
words at this point, is that the Congressional Progressive Caucus went along with this maneuver. Most people can't see through this garbage.
I love Jimmy
I gotta
Dore,
be
dude.
honest, I'm
So
real
good.
sick. This has happened multiple times at this point. I'm real sick of AOC in particular.
They replay this one laughing thing. That's just a video edit. It's fine. Don't pay too attention
Go
to
show
that.
her the video of AOC saying we got to call.
Over a year ago, Ana Kasparian not giving a shit.
Jimmy Dore's fire.
And now, over a year ago, Jimmy Dore
Cause a ruckus.
actually talking
we gotta
about
be
the real
willing.
shit.
We can do this. All it takes is courage. And then show AOC saying we have to uphold the rule of law. She went from MLK to Nixon in 30 days, and you're not going to call that out?
Another tweet that I want to draw attention to. AOC, for instance, again, yesterday tweeted,
Railroad workers grind themselves to the bone for this country
Also,
as their
I love Jimmy
labor
Dore.
produces billions for Wall Street. They demand the basic dignity of paid sick days. I stand with them. If Congress intervenes, it should be to have workers' backs and secure their demands in legislation.
I agree, AOC. I totally agree with you on that.
The squad agrees with us,
May
our
5th?
policy
Or
position.
June 5th,
But when they
January
won't do
5th. Sorry,
anything to
Jesus
implement them, it doesn't fucking matter.
You get the point. Jimmy Dore was there a year beforehand.
Yep.
And the fucking Young Turks, Ana Kasparian in particular, is like, now's a good time to jump on this bandwagon.
They're the real progressives, aren't they? Young
Amen.
Turks.
So, yeah.
I may not agree with Jimmy Dore about fucking anything, but
Most
I
things, but
love
he's
him.
entertaining, man. I like him a lot.
And he's good. He's good at what he's doing. He is consistent
Yes.
and principled and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a fucking idiot.
Yeah. When he talks, he was on the Michael Malice show this week.
Yes. I'm
I
gonna
don't
watch
know
it
if you
this
watched
coming
it.
week. No.
Okay. Yeah. Dad with 2 kids. Of course you haven't watched it yet. At one point in the conversation, Michael Malice asked him what it is to be left, right? That was a whole conversation about red pill, blue pill, the whole thing. But what does it mean for Jimmy Dore to be left? And he's like, well, it means like I'm pro workers' rights. I'm pro healthcare for everybody. And I'm like, I am not on your tilt at all, bud. But
I like
when you
him.
just talk about all the other things and all that, like I don't agree with your ideology, but I agree with you generally on how you want, how anti-establishment you are. That's
Isn't
basically what it comes down
interesting,
to.
that we can agree on so little, but also on so much at the exact same time.
Yes. Yes. And that's the way America's supposed to be.
Yeah. I
We
like
got
it
a few
lot.
family principles, bro, but other than that, we can fight and argue and fucking hate each other, but that's
Yep.
fine.
You're crazy with how you want to spend the dollars.
Yes.
But I like your other plans.
Yes. It's crazy how you want to spend the dollars, but okay. So yeah, that's the railway strike. You got anything to add to the railway strike before we move on to the next topic in the
Nope.
grab bag?
No, I'm good on the railway strike.
Oh Jesus, 6:30. Okay. Yep. Let's just do. Would you rather do Yee or the Dutch Farmers?
Let's do Dutch Farmers.
Okay.
Kanye's not going anywhere.
Kanye definitely ain't going nowhere. So
Kanye was on Alex Jones. Y'all know about the shit. It was crazy.
it was
He's
crazy.
saying some wild shit.
Yeah.
We'll see
This
what
is
happens.
good. I just have more content for the beer shows over the next
we'll
month.
see what happens.
Oh my
See if I
god!
don't show up for one of these beer shows.
You know where I'll be, baby.
Yeah.
Dutch farmers protest against after being hurt very hard by nitrogen emission targets. Okay, so
So good.
this is something we had
written so good.
Yeah. Well, this is from CGTN. See the
Alright.
difference. It's a .com, I guess, so that's
Alright.
better than like a .de. But
It's no, what was it? GardenStateFamilies.org. But, I suppose it will do.
depends on how much you love the Bible,
Listen,
I
the
guess.
blood of Christ.
All right, so we've talked about Dutch farmers before. We've shown certain protests, them getting shot at by the actual authorities at that point in time when they were they were protesting in the vein of the Canadian trucker protest by taking all of their tractors out, and they were blocking international airports, they were blocking roadways, all against the shutting down of their farms, their generalized oppression from the government related to the emissions that they output in regards to like green energy and shit like that, right? Well, the EU has essentially come out with actual numbers at this point. This is the first time I've seen the numbers anyways. But the farmers have begun to protest once again. They're back out on the streets. Do I have a picture? I got a video. This is one of the videos of the farmers once again. And it's a line of tractors again. It's farmers on the roads, making convoys, doing
They're going to the Capitol or something?
what the Canadians do best. I don't know where they're going in this one. It's just it's a newer video from BitChute. So these are all farmers heading on their way somewhere to protest, forming convoys,
Look
doing
at
what
that
they
road, dude.
It's welcome to the EU, bro.
That's a nice road.
Yeah, well, you want
That's
to pay.
a nice boulder.
All you got to do
Any
is
one of
pay
those.
60% taxes, and that road can be yours.
We need a drop for that. That's a nice boulder.
Say it one more time.
That's a nice boulder. that's Donkey from Shrek. He says that. He said, that's a nice boulder.
That's a nice boulder.
Yeah. Not of me saying it, of Donkey saying it.
I will find a clip of Donkey saying it, and I will record the motherfucker, and then we'll do it up proper. Jesus Christ.
I just
As long as
don't
it's
clip
streaming
me
somewhere.
saying it.
No, I definitely won't clip you saying it because it lacks emotion, Donovan. It lacks emotion.
That's a nice boulder.
That's a nice Do your best Chris Rock impression.
That is Eddie Murphy.
Fuck. It is Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. He said,
From
that's
Shrek.
a nice boulder. I don't know.
That is actually that's relatively good
That's all
in
I
your
got.
own voice, mind you. But it's the mannerisms are correct. You know. As a man who speaks like Russian, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand how this goes. I get it. You did very good job. Okay, so let's go over the numbers here. We watched the video. This is, like I said, we've talked about this before, the Dutch farmers. The protests aren't as extreme right now as they used to be. But
Right, they're not getting shot at like you're talking about.
they're not getting shot at like they once did, which we showed on the podcast. Dutch farmers protest against being hurt very hard by nitrogen emissions target. Dutch farmers are continuing to protest government plans to have nitrogen emissions, by 2030. Agenda 2030. We're not going to talk about
years
it.
from now.
We're not
7.
going to talk about Agenda 2030.
Not if you want to stay on YouTube.
A move which they claim will put many out of business. The Netherlands is the world's second largest exporter of agricultural goods, but intensifying farming methods and a high population density means that nitrogen levels have started to reach illegal levels, prompting the Hague, prompting the head to take action. So at this point, they've already said, fuck you, we're just going to keep going. And now it's like, well, the Hague's getting involved. These are the people that do war crimes. War crimes.
You guys are ecological Nazis at this point. We can't stand for it.
The Dutch government says the targets are essential to protect the country's air, water, soil, and biodiversity, specifically insects, which it says are vital to agriculture. Farmers,
Dutch
though,
farmers should make a flag with a green swastika on it and be like, "This is what you think about us."
becoming the green
I'm
Nazi.
reaching. We're 7
Donovan, I
hours in.
don't think becoming the green Nazis is the answer.
It's just satirized. It's satire.
Yeah, no. I get it. They won't. That'll land them in front of the Hague, motherfucker, all right?
yeah.
Jesus Christ. The Hague is very sensitive to the swastika. Come on. You should know better by now. All right. So farmers, though, say they have invested a lot in being environmentally friendly and that the new measures will hurt very hard. Meat and dairy farms are responsible for 41% of the country's nitrogen emissions through animal waste.
It's interesting that they
the doo-doo.
It's interesting that they keep saying hurt very hard. Like it was weird to say it the one time, but they're
continuing.
repeating it. You know?
We're hurt real hard.
Like I get that it's a quote, but you have to know that that's weird.
Oh, but also, they're Dutch. They're not speaking English. This is going to be some kind of translation.
Even then, it's a weird thing.
I'm sure it makes sense in
Take
Dutch.
another quote is what I'm saying.
Another quote.
In English, it doesn't
As
read
the journalist, do better.
well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In English, it doesn't read well.
All right, enough of this nonsense. The long and short of it is,
Yeah. Sorry.
there is a crackdown on these Dutch farmers.
Food production.
Continued. Yeah, food for the number 2 in the world of agricultural exports throughout the nation
What do
or
we
out
eat?
the world. And the EU, which is where these regulations are coming from, right? Because the Netherlands cannot control their own.
Globalist idiots.
Exactly. Where do you think this comes from? Klaus Schwab? World Economic Forum?
What?
Because that's exactly where it comes from.
Who said that?
I did. That's exactly where it comes from. Motherfucker has said it on the internet. You can go watch it on their website. What they want to do is shut down 3,000 farms. It should not surprise you that no more than 30 have volunteered to take the subsidy and retire. So there are 3,000 farms they want to close. They want to cut down 30% of overall livestock because of all the cow burps and all the cow farts that are adding to greenhouse gases, which are changing their climate, which are going to kill us all. And
What
they
does arable mean? ARABLE.
that means anything that can become airborne. In what context? Read the sentence.
Farms, arable farms.
Arable farms. Yes. If you have livestock,
Okay.
they're going to off gas certain gases. You're going to have a
So-
net if you're going to put a bubble around a specific piece of property that is a farm, you're going to have a net export of greenhouse gases.
So you said 3,000 farms?
Yes.
In 2021, the Netherlands had 11,189 arable farms.
Okay.
in 2021.
So they're going to cut down 3,000 of that.
Yeah.
So hang on. Let's get the internet. Let's get the calculator
Going to
going.
be about 9,000.
Could be a
Or
9,000.
Sorry, 8,000.
Let's get a percentage going on. Sure. How many were you starting with?
11,189.
11,189. Enter. And we are going to have 3,000 closing, which leaves us at actually point. Well, yeah. How do we do 3,000? Can't do math right now. I can't do it right now. I'm sorry. I can't do trig right now. I'm sorry. It's going to be like it's a high percentage of cut. It's a high percentage. Oh, wait. No. I do know how to do this, actually. And we're cutting down 3,000, right?
Yep.
So the difference is 8,890 and 8,190. And then how many did we start with again?
11,189.
89. Divide. That's not right. Never mind. I think I got to inverse those two integers. But it's a high percentage of close down. I mean, that's a
Yes.
lot.
Yes.
Right? I mean, we can just roughly do the math. 3,000 out of 1,100. That's close to a quarter, right? It's close to a quarter. Let's go with that. Close to a
Yes.
quarter. I'm not going to do
Yes.
the exact fucking percentage at this point. Divide 3,000 by the total number of farms.
Yes.
Fuck you, Deborah. I did it backwards. Oh, 3,000 times 11. We'll just do 11,000. It's about 25%. It's about 26, 27%. There you go, Deborah. Jesus Christ. Thank you very much.
Hilarious.
I've had a few beers. Leave me alone.
Oh, Deborah. It's a good thing you're here.
Deborah, you should know better. This is part 4 of 4, all right? This is when
Like,
shit
dear
gets
Christ,
wild.
I paid for your guys' education.
Thankfully, we were both smart enough not to go to college, so no. You're actually currently funding our next high quality video camera, which we will need for the new studio. Props to that, by
Watch
the
out
way.
for the new
It's going to
year.
be legit. I'm now instantly thinking about how much excess equipment I have in my house
There
that
you
we
go.
can provide. Fuck. I wish I would have done this beforehand, but I do want to take a second to give a nice shout out to Deborah, who is one of our patrons
Yep.
on Patreon right now.
Shout
Thank
out,
you very
Deborah.
much, Deborah. I highly encourage everybody to like and subscribe this video. I want to make sure we get these, our generalized message out to as many people as possible.
Yep.
And one of the ways that we can do that in a more efficient and better manner at that point is by having more subscribers on our Patreon. So shout out, Deborah. You are the #1 OG fan at this point. Not really, because you are the best current fan at this point. And so thank you very much, Deborah, for becoming a massive force in the production of Salt Streets
Colin's out here
Productions.
playing
So,
favorites.
thank you very much. I mean, shout out Larry Dixon, you the man.
Says you're the best.
And
fan.
I'd also give a shout out to our other patron, but it's you, so fuck you.
What? It's a secret.
It's a secret. It's a secret. Nobody knows about it. So, yes, thank you very much, Deborah. We really, really, really do appreciate it. And you give us more motivation than I think you probably realize. So anyways, thoughts on the Dutch farmers, good sir?
What are we going to eat?
That is indeed the question, because as we cut down on 30% of the livestock, 70%. Oh, the other, I don't think I said that number. The other number the EU has regulated that the Netherlands cut down on is they need to cut down on 70% of their nitrogen fertilizer, which is what provides the food that the second largest producer of food in the world relies on.
Yeah. You get a lot of that fertilizer from Russia.
We used to. I mean, we can't really do that now.
Traditionally.
Yeah,
up
but
until a fucking February we
So
did.
yeah, because things are different now.
Right.
Obviously, we don't talk to our neighbors to the east because Russia's,
Deborah says lab grown meat. What about bugs too, right? Also bugs?
I've said it once before, and I'll say it again. I will not live in the pod.
I'm not saying
I will
we
not
should
live in
eat
the bugs.
I'm saying
The
that's
Europeans should eat bugs.
I'm saying that seems to be what they're getting at, because what the fuck else are we going to eat if you're taking all the food?
I don't necessarily know if we're expected to eat anything, Donovan.
This says, God damn it, that article says, with the plans have nitrogen emissions by 2030, that could mean over 11,000 farms have to close. This thing says there's only 11,000 farms.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to get European sources, Donovan. That's all I'm going to say right now. It's tough to get European sources.
Let's find out what the fucking arable farm is.
Yeah, Google search an arable farm. This is from like newsseu.
Arable farming deals mainly with cultivating
CGTB.
crops on viable land. So okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
11,000 is just crops. So that I don't have to do with, including vegetables, cereals, and plants that produce cloth or oils.
No farms, no food, Donovan.
Yeah,
That's all
that's
I'm
no
gonna say.
good.
No farms, no
No
food.
farmers, no food.
No
That's
farmers,
right.
no food.
Number of dairy cows.
The
in
Great
Netherlands.
Reset in action.
Greenhouse horticulture farms. Maybe that's what we're looking for.
The government of the Netherlands has announced plans
Oh,
to
fuck you.
force the sale and closure of 3,000 farms in order to meet strict environmental guidelines put in place by the European Union. Although the purchase will apparently be made on generous terms of up to 120% of the farm's value, the Dutch government has already made clear the purchase will be
Nice.
mandatory, not required.
What percent? 120%?
120% of the land value.
We'll overpay you.
I don't care about the fucking land
I'm
value.
not- I'm asking
Yeah,
of
sorry,
what they're
sorry.
saying. I'm not saying it's a good deal. I'm
100%
asking
of the
what
land
they're
value.
offering them. Dear Christ.
They're offering them above market value, apparently,
But just for the land.
of the farm's value.
Purchases will apparently be made generous of the farm's value. Okay, so which would mean all the animals and stuff like that.
Even I don't care if you make all these motherfuckers. You can offer them 1,000% more than what the farm's value is worth. The true value of the farm's worth is in the output of agriculture that goes to the rest of the fucking world. It's the food that we all rely on, because here in the United States, the only thing we actually make is corn and fucking soybeans on
True.
a large scale.
Yeah.
And we ship them primarily over to fucking China and then turn the rest into high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Fact check true. I'm sorry. But it's not something you can just fuck with because you decide that you know best how the world's billion-year fucking plan, the planet's multi-million-year climate fucking plan works. You decide this is the way we have to go, and so fuck everybody involved. We're just going to cut our overall global food supply by X amount of percentage. I don't care if it's 1%. If you deem that you know better than anybody else in this point, you're gambling with things that you have no idea. You don't know the true stakes at play here at this table. This is ignorance on a massive fucking scale. And it is only going to lead to absolute disaster going forward. If the number two producer of agricultural products, actual consumables, not just fucking not just fucking corn and soybeans,
Right.
then we got a serious fucking problem here. And the chicken's gonna come home to roost. Obviously, they ain't gonna come home to roost in fucking the Netherlands because they want to cut 30% of their livestock. But a lot of our corn in the United States goes to livestock feed. And you cut that shit
Right.
down. Word. It's a whole, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole globalist thing and blah, 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 but like when it comes to like the
Saying
world's
there's a
food supply,
conspiracy?
no. I'm just saying that there is a global agricultural market that has been put into place over the decades
Yeah.
between like NAFTA
Talk to Ivan
and
about
the
that, right.
fucking TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership and all this stuff. This all has to do with which countries grow which agriculture,
Right.
who trades with what, all this stuff. You fuck with all that shit, man. Like, you guys have systematically built a system of global reliance in the world's food supply, and now you're going to fuck with it because you think the world's going to end because of climate change?
It's for the trees, man.
I challenge everybody to listen to a little bit of fucking, I don't remember his name now. There's a few people out there right now that'll be like, bro, do you realize that like there's 30% more trees on this planet than there was 20
Herschel
years
Walker.
ago?
He was talking about the trees.
I know, but he's not he's relaying information by a reliable source.
Do you call that?
Don't listen to Herschel Walker for most things. He's
call
had
that
a
the-
lot of head trauma over his life.
Call it the false library fallacy.
The false library fallacy. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good.
That is when you are
Peterson just talked about this. Thank you, Deborah.
when you don't actually know about something, but you are relaying information that somebody else told you about it. And so,
That's the false library fallacy?
yep.
Damn, I feel like we do that a lot. Because what we do is convey other people's aggregated information.
Only if we don't research it further ourselves.
Indeed.
It's not like we don't
No,
take
no,
what
no.
Ben Shapiro says and repeat his talking points.
God, no.
That's just for an example.
that
right?
would
we
be
don't
a
do that
problem.
with anybody. That's just an example that I thought of first.
Self-check on me. That's
Yeah, we
true. I'm
don't-
glad I
we-
don't do that.
We don't do that. So if we're challenged on it, we are able, on any given idea generally that we present here, we're able to provide
Yeah.
further information. And this is the big thing, sources to where we got the information.
Indeed.
Instead of just, well, this person said this thing. Like, that's not a source.
No.
If you listen to a podcast about it, I would say in modern times that's a source because that's people get information from there.
Yeah.
But if you're not repeating, Stephen Crowder's talking points, right? Oh my God, Deborah,
Deborah, you're amazing. You should. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
no, but yeah, if you're just repeating someone's talking points without researching it and having more information on
Yes.
it, you are
Yeah.
involved in the false library fallacy. You're presenting one when
The
you
Charlie
present that
Kirks of the world
information.
and things like that. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I learned about. Deborah knows about that. That's one of
Yeah.
the things that I learned about in how to have impossible conversations.
Indeed,
False library
indeed,
fallacy.
indeed.
So
Yeah. Deborah's on the fucking book club.
Deborah knows.
Speaking of book club, why don't we close out this bitch with a nice, how you doing in the book club? How's the book going?
The
All
book
that
club is
good shit.
excellent. I actually didn't bring the book today because I was reading it, so it's on the shelf. I was reading it this morning. We have a
Ooh.
really nice corner in our house now.
So usually it lives
that-
in your truck.
Yes, we have a really nice corner in our house now that has a bookshelf with most of my books on it and a chair, and there's like a salt rock lamp and a standing lamp that has an individual lamp that comes off of it for reading. And I meant to do the last book show live stream from there, but my ring light had not come in yet, so I didn't have enough light in the corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I got my ring light now. So on Tuesday,
It's one of the most popular videos on our Instagram, by the way. The last book club.
really
It is.
interesting.
It's up there in views, baby. It's up there.
Well, on the next book club live stream, which will be on Tuesday at 8:15 Pacific on our Instagram at Salt of the Streets, I will be there in the corner with my ring light. It'll be fantastic because it's a good vibe.
I love the fact you own a ring light now.
Yes, I bought one. So
How do you feel about
finally-
that?
Well, now that we're in fucking December, I've been talking about it literally every month since we started the book club, and
Yeah.
now that I have 3 of them left, I might as well fucking buy a ring camera. It's so stupid.
Oh,
So-
I love it. I love it, though. This Tuesday, indeed,
Yes,
Deborah.
this
on,
Tuesday
on the Instagram.
every Tuesday, 8:15 Pacific time, which I believe you're in Texas. I think that's 10:15. So I'm sorry it is late, but you
Ooh.
can also watch them the next morning. They're on the Instagram. They're still there.
Yeah.
I did one already for Jarhead, and I know for sure I did one. I maybe did 2.
You did one.
I did one for the other one for the November book for How to Have Impossible
okay.
Conversations.
Yeah, I think you did 2 for that one.
Yeah, so they are there. 6:15.
For 50 views on the
What?
first. Yeah, bro.
No, Deborah, 6:15. If it's 8:15 here, it's later in Texas, right?
Yeah, we don't go backwards in time, Deborah. We're going West Coast to East Coast. It gets greater than.
Yeah, we're in Washington State.
I love this picture, by the way. Let's just look
You
at
like
that.
that? You like that? Yeah, so that's my kitchen. That's the new kitchen.
We're gonna like that asphalt
So-
the streets, by the way.
Yeah,
You get an
that's,
extra like.
that's the new kitchen. So I have a corner set up.
2 days
the
earlier
things.
than you. No, Deborah, it's not.
How?
It goes the other
You're
way. It's
blowing
2 days
my mind
later,
right
Deborah.
now. Right.
What time is it right now,
Are
Deborah?
you in Hawaii?
It is exactly. It is 6:52 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Right now.
Right now. It is definitely about. It's about
It's blowing
8:50
my
something
mind
in
right
your
now.
world. I know you have not had as many beers as we have had at this point. Yeah, 50.
What time is it?
50 views, by the
Yeah,
way.
8:49. Right.
Yeah, word.
Right,
2
that's
hours
what I'm
later.
saying.
We're 2 hours earlier than you.
Right. I'm saying Pacific time, our time. It's 8:15 is when I do the live streams. It will be 10:15 for
I
you.
can't believe this is happening. I
No,
love
no,
this.
no.
All
It
right.
doesn't matter. That's okay.
It's
But Like I
amazing.
said, you can watch them the next day. I did the one. That's what you're seeing there
Yeah.
for.
That one.
Yeah,
Look at that guy
that's the one.
with his hat and his. It looks like you have a Hitler mustache right now. Look at that because of the shadow.
Oh yeah, I don't. It's a proper mustache, but we'll have the ring light. It will be better lit the next
Yeah,
time.
You've got a Victor Boot mustache.
Damn, I don't even drink. That is all right. That is all right.
Oh, this is why you're the best, Deborah.
Yeah, so this is going to be our last episode for the year, like we said, but we'll still have Colin will still be here for the live
Yep,
streams.
we'll
I
be
will
here
still-
every Friday.
Yeah,
4:30.
every Friday, 4:30 our time, right, Deborah? 4:30 our time.
4:30 our time, which is 6:30 your
Texas
time,
time.
Deborah.
Texas time.
Texas. Wait. No, I did it. I did the opposite.
No,
No,
you
I
did
did it
it.
right.
Yeah, you did
6:30 her
Texas
time,
4:30 our
and
time.
7:30 Eastern time. Boom.
Yes, so
Most people are awake by then.
we will still have the live streams on Fridays. We will still have the book club live streams on Tuesdays on the Instagrams.
Yep.
The review preview will still drop at the end of the month or the
Yep.
January. We will still have the newsletter at the end of the month. We
We're
still
gonna-
have all these things cracking. I will probably end up doing
New Year's
a-
Day, are we going to do
New Year's Day.
Okay, that's
I'll
fine.
probably end up doing a review preview for next year's book club. So we'll see. Like this is my stack for next year. You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying? That's what I mean.
Do I have
Review-
time to add to the stack?
Yeah, I don't even have it cooked up yet. I mean, I have the
good.
whole thing prepared. Yeah, you got time.
Okay, I'm going to add your October book.
Yeah, I'll pick some out by this weekend. So
You'll
if
get you'll get an October book for your birth miss.
There you go. There you go. I'll say I'll give you two. You can pick out 2 books for the book club next year. And that would
For
be,
real?
Yeah, because I want to do that Sasquatch one. So the Sasquatch
That
one.
one's gonna
and
be
then-
October.
Yeah, and if you want to pick one more
I will.
fantasy book
Okay.
to go in there, that would be
Or
good.
fiction book.
Fiction book, you know. Yeah.
I mean, don't you say
whatever.
fantasy? We'll see what happens.
whatever. So yeah, I think that we'll probably
Oh. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
We're good. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm
No, we got some
brainstorming.
good stuff cracking. So I
like
like
this.
that idea. Preview the books coming. Yeah, exactly. And I did the book club was a very new idea this year. It was a new
was.
thing, and it all happened in like about 12 minutes at my
Yeah.
house. I was like, oh, I want to read 12 books. It's like I want everyone to read 12 books. So
And in retrospect, I think it's worked out quite well.
I think
you've done a
yes.
fantastic job. I've loved your review previews. I've loved your live streams, and I've loved the review preview that we do once a month here. It's been I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. I think it's better than Ben Shapiro's book club, by the way.
I've
because
never watched any of his videos. But
He's
his book club videos.
he just basically Ben Shapiro's for an hour, and
Yeah.
that's about it. But he doesn't. You do Tale of Two Cities, and you're like, well, what's the actual book about? It's like, well, these are the fundamental underlying ethics and concerns
Yeah, it's
about
real
this
good.
book. I'm like, no, what's the fucking book about?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely didn't do any of that here. That's not how my brain works.
No, bro. You let me know what the book's about and your thoughts on top of it.
Yeah, yeah.
You do a good job.
We will be doing the book club again next year. We're going to work around the live streams and stuff a little bit. It's definitely
Yep.
harder with 2 children than it was before, but I like the review previews a lot. I think they work well. And this will be the 18th book that I've read this year. Jarhead will be the 18th book that I finished this year.
That's 6 more than
6 over
as
goal.
is advertised.
Yeah, 6 over goal. So
I've got like 5.
it's attainable. It's difficult, but as I started to make time for it and fit it into my day, it was easier and easier and easier. And I know that I've gotten a lot of good out of it. So waiting at the bar for food and stuff like that, I bring my book in. If I'm going to go pick up a pizza or something, bring my book in while I'm drinking my beer. Read some
Fantastic.
book instead of being on my phone.
That's very Stephen King of you. Have you
Anytime
ever
if
read
I'm-
Stephen King's On Writing?
No, not on writing.
Ooh.
No.
Okay.
I've read some King books, but not on writing.
And that's not a book club book. But so to help close out the show,
Yep.
I wanted to just run through real quick, kind of Bridget Fetisi dumpster fire style.
Okay.
These are the stories we did not cover
Yes.
during the grab bag. We did not cover New York City to involuntarily commit the homeless/mentally ill people that are living on the street.
Oh, God.
We did not cover the same-sex marriage bill that got passed, including Mike Lee's amendment for religious exemptions that
And
did not get passed.
I think now they're just waiting for Biden to sign it, right?
Indeed,
Yep.
they passed it. We did not cover the Georgia Senate race. Congratulations, fucking Warnock.
Raphael.
You're in there with Fetterman. We did not pass the
first
fact that
black senator ever from Georgia.
hashtag historic landmark.
Part-time
Glass ceilings shattered and all that.
Yeah. Isn't that some wild shit, though? That they're always like, this is racist as fuck. I don't know. That's a way deeper
I read
conversation,
IRS regs all day long. Does that count? Yes.
but- Ooh, rough. It does count.
Were you
You
trying
probably
to go to
read
sleep all week?
18 books worth of IRS regulations.
That's
but-
rough. So other stories we did not cover today
Yeah.
in the grab bag. We did not cover that HBO is now going to be releasing a Pelosi documentary,
wait
something
to
that we
watch
have
it.
previewed here on the show before.
Made by her daughter.
Yes, made by her daughter.
Jan 6 footage.
John Bolton is going to run for president if nobody that he deems sufficiently against Trump comes out and runs. We did North Carolina power stations. Time Magazine Person of the Year, none other than President Zelensky and the Ukrainian People's Fighting Spirit won that one. Military vax mandate goes away in the new NDAA.
Let me say this really quick.
Yes.
Fuck Volodymyr Zelensky.
Amen. I think we've shown enough clips on their show to justify
Yeah,
that.
fuck that guy.
And that's it. That's what we didn't cover.
I like it.
Some of the stuff we hit in retrospect, some of the stuff I hit on Friday.
I like it. Well, guys, we just did a fucking 7-hour podcast
That's right.
to finish up this year.
That's the best way
This
to do it.
was a fantastic year. I think in the years past we've done some type of like reflection thing on, what if this year, blah blah blah. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm
Yeah,
idealizing
unless you have
what we've
initial
done.
thoughts.
But
I don't really.
but
Yeah.
we will be back January 14th in this studio. Maybe in the new studio. We'll see.
I would imagine probably in the new
Yeah,
studio.
we will see how far we get on everything. But
It's
I
the
think
reason
we'll
I
make
haven't redone this studio yet.
I think we'll
'cause-
make some good progress on it. So we will be there. We will see you guys. We have lots of other content coming out till then. So like we said, make sure that you share, like, subscribe, all this stuff. Tell everyone about this so they know about this. Excuse me. Don't allow the channel to go dark
Nope.
during this month off because we will still have lots of content coming out. We have lots
Yeah.
of clips, lots of all that kinds of stuff. We'll probably run some ads during December to make sure we have everything running.
Merry Christmas,
Yes,
Deborah.
it was a
Merry
fan-
fucking
thank you
Christmas.
very much.
That's why I have a Christmas tree
Yeah,
here.
this was a great episode. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Happy
And
Hanukkah starts next week.
There you go. Happy Hanukkah.
Hanukkah starts, I believe, Monday or Tuesday.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes.
And we will see you later.
We will see you in January. I will see you on Friday.
That's right. Thank you guys. We love you very much.
Bye, guys.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought.